I didn't say I gained on Greg. I'm saying I mean I gained like on a Miata. So we're right here with a Miata. Oh, I got him.
Yeah. As I think you should.
and as I did.
There you go.
Now Greg, he was gone. He took that turn and I was like, wow, why'd he go so high? And I started doing that.
How'd it feel for you?
It felt a little better when I could make it work, but my body was telling me don't go that high strip. Like I wanted to cut the corner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, naturally you want to, right?
You want to swing wide and cut the corner, hit the apex like shoop. Well, every time I would go wide like he did, it felt better, but it was just I couldn't get myself to do it.
Oh, we have heavier cars too.
True.
Right? So.
Have either of you guys driven much in the wet?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Don't like it.
Have you guys figured out the rain line?
On this track?
On any track?
I feel like our team drives in the rain really well.
A whole hot.
Like we're better in the rain.
Eric, why don't you tell us where the rain line is?
So typically the rain line is if you run in 2 wide with a car or 3 wide depending on how old the track is, you can drive around in the wet faster, basically being on the 3rd lane on most turns, than if you try to hit the apex because there's more grip.
So get away from where your body tells you want to be.
Correct.
And why is that?
Because there's more grip. Because everyone drives on the line.
They wear it down.
You make it smooth. So in the wet, you have like polished marble, very smooth rocks. Offline, you still have the jagged rocks that dig in the tires, even when they're wet. So you get more grip.
Right. Good point.
So that turn where you get camber on the outside, where you think you don't want to be,
that'd be the place to be.
Is where you want to try to be. So it's like a wet line that you'd want to take through that turn.
So when it rains tomorrow and I'm not in the car and thankful for that, to an extent, I'll just tell Jeremy, well, he'll know.
Everyone else will have to take that line.
I said, Jeremy, get way up high. He said, know that. I said, okay. I told you that yesterday.
Everything in your body is telling you no, but go for it.
There's the lookout right there. I'm telling you about.
Lookout, huh?
Yeah, you can go under the tunnel. Did y'all know that?
Oh, the tunnel, yeah.
He knows that.
I didn't know there was a tunnel here.
I mean, but you're here though. You're a member. Look here. There's a tunnel.
An observation area.
Right there, and you go up that hill and you can see all the back stuff back there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You go right up that hill, right where the flag is.
I had no idea.
So if you're ever at AMP, there's a tunnel.
Right there.
Right there. That crosses the track and lets you
go to the end of the paddock. All the way to the end. Well, the opposite end of pit out.
So I guess you can see that end of the sweeper back here.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. You can't really see it from the top of the building.
So since you've been here before, have you guys tried the go-karts?
Yes. Oh, I don't think you have, but
I have not, but
I have, and that hill is a doozy. Coming down and then turning around.
So I drove it last night.
I was gonna say, Eric, why don't you tell us about it since you drove it?
Well, I can't tell you how fast it is because my cart didn't keep time.
How did it feel?
I mean, it felt fast.
Because when I was on observation lookout up there and I looked over there and I saw them going down the hill, I said if somebody does not turn and they go straight, they're going to eat those tires down there. Again.
That was the very first thing I saw when I visited AMP yesterday, is we're up on the observation deck and a go-kart rental guy went down to and didn't hit the brakes hard enough and all the way to the wall on the outside.
Yeah.
And then got stuck in the grass.
I'm actually surprised that doesn't happen more often, just because that, like you said, is also off camber, and I know when I was there, I definitely spun out at the bottom, and that should happen way more often than I feel like happens.
They have like a million carts too, and like half of them are usually broken from.
Exactly.
These magnets must be pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at that.
Pit road timer. Made it all the way out here before the magnet popped off.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like it's one of the new ones too. Good to go.
Oh no.
I'm so bad with this corner right here. I always want to take it way faster.
I haven't quite. This one here, kind of, not really, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going too slow through here.
Yeah.
Isn't that most race car drivers? Just every turn, like, I went too slow. I could have gone faster.
Could've gone
But I
faster.
did it for 2 hours, and I was like, every lap, I was like, I think I'm a little too slow. I think I'm a little too slow. And then I'd pick it up a little bit, and I'd say that was probably a little bit, the car would get upset, or I'd meet somebody, it was traffic.
Ah.
So I was like, ugh.
Traffic management. The key to a good average lap time during your stint.
Eric, 100% right on that.
Film for all these racers out here. Perfect lap times all
we're out
day,
here by
every day.
ourselves, you know. You put me in the tap keg, out here, and you put us a half a lap apart. I mean, you know, might be different.
You may not see the keg in a session.
I mean, I might not. Since we got rid of the fuel pickup issue now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that was another thing that got us. So when we raced Charlotte and CMP, it's an opposite turn. You know, it's more. And in Charlotte, you know, you have the bank. So we had our pickup in the left side of the tank. And an hour into a run stint, these turns were fine. That big sweeping left hand that we're gonna get to in a minute. I'm like mashing the throttle just barely.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it rolling, and it was just sputtering all the way around. So all that, Eric, all that room I had to make up ground as a V8,
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Oh. Because you didn't have any fuel. Because the pickup's in the wrong spot
But
for
we
this
fixed
track.
that now. We fixed that.
So you moved it to the other side of the tank?
We put it about 2/3 of the way on the right side.
Ah.
All right.
So
Oh, the next climb is up the wall.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a big hill.
I don't know what it's actually called, but first lap through with the pace car, and I was
Funny
like,
stories here, guys? Any funny stories?
oh, that looks like I'm driving up a wall.
So Eric, I was out here maybe 5 laps into my stint today, and right there was a Miata
In the sand?
in the sand, and he was spinning trying to get up the hill. He was stuck in the sand, and then when I made the next lap and they had the caution thrown, somehow his nose was pointing this way and his rear wheels were up the hill on the grass.
So he did 180.
So I can't figure out what happened because he was bogged down, and I was like, no, he's done. And I went up the hill, and then when I made the other lap, he was flipped the other way, and then the tow trucks were finally getting to him, and I was like, what did he do? Like, how did he, can you see where he went in right there? There, he went right there.
So somehow he spun around.
And I can't figure that out. That's what I can't figure out, because he was bottomed out in the sand. I don't know what changed him. Like, I didn't figure that one out.
Driver's skill. Let's leave it at that.
There you
He
go.
was trying hard to get out, so if it ever caught, if he 180'd it, went right back in.
Maybe.
That's the only thing I can think.
So as we make this trek up this hill,
So you're a manual transmission, right?
Mm-hmm.
What gear are you in right here?
I actually take this in third. The other guys will take this up in second, and then hit up third at the very top of this.
So I've tried second, and I can really pull it. But when I started starving for fuel, I was like, I gotta go third, and I ran faster lap times.
Yeah.
because it's probably forcing you to carry more speed down there
Yeah.
versus depend on second gear to come up hill.
Downshift right at that apex almost, like right as I was getting into it, a downshift, and I could smoke it up this hill.
Yeah, but you probably overslowed to get down to second
You're
gear
right.
instead of focusing on apex speed in higher gear, knowing that if you mess up,
That's
you're gonna go really slow.
That's
Yeah.
correct. So I would just roll it through there a little bit quicker, and bog it up the hill here, and then I'd be ready to go.
Yep. Third all the way down and around, and then
And like I said, so tomorrow, if I can, it's not raining. I don't have to take a rain line. I'm going to try third, hopefully when I starve for fuel. And I would like to know how many seconds, or half a second, I could make up on that left turn.
that left turn goes way faster than I think people realize too.
Yes.
Isn't it like 3 turn numbers though?
Yeah. Yeah, something
Eric.
crazy.
My butt hurts.
Need a rest at the top of the hill?
I'm good. It's a whole lot easier in the car.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll say.
I mean, I'm up here in like no time.
Uh-huh.
It's a much different experience walking it than being in the
Have
car.
you driven it?
I've not driven it, but I've been passenger. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to have a whole, that's why I did the track walk. I'm gonna have a whole different appreciation for this thing. I think Eric knew what he was doing when he got me.
Always try to help spread more motorsports passion however possible.
He wanted to help the novice.
All the knowledge right
Because
here.
we had this discussion last night and I was telling him about the off camber. I didn't even know about off camber. I just said, listen, when you make a left turn, it leans this way. He's like, it's off camber. Remember that, Eric?
Yep.
He's trying to help the brother out. Now that I'm winded and out of shape.
It's a good time to for me to ask you guys questions. So on my track walk, I always ask 3 questions.
Go ahead.
First question, your first memory of motorsports. You as a kid, racing something, like anything, RC cars, slot cars, racing BMX bikes even though it's not motorized, like anything. What's your first memory of motorsport? It could be on TV, anything.
I can tell you mine is just Need for Speed. The very first one. I'd race that like hours on end. And then they came out with the second one, and then they had like a Porsche edition and all that. Those are some good. That was a good series.
So that
Back in the day.
hooked you in motorsports, the Need for Speed games.
Well, it got me into sport, cars and all that, and then
Yeah. Downhill from there.
yeah, down from there.
Spiro?
Well, Eric, let's see. Nobody in my family was in motorsports. Was anybody in your family in motorsports? I was the lone gunman. I was the only one that wanted to do it. And I had no support from mother for sure.
Right, but
Or father. But
when?
I'm getting there, I'm telling the story.
all right.
So, because we got a long way to go.
We do have 3 questions.
Okay. Pick it up now. So, I would get anything. So I've been driving since I was probably 6 or 7 years old by myself, because we lived out in the country. So even though it wasn't legal, I would drive on secondary roads by myself. So
Sounds
I
normal.
always would drive, and anytime we would go anywhere with a go-kart track, I'd get on it, and I would always do well at it. Like I'd get in it, and I'd adapt, and I'd usually either win or I'd be right there second or right there in the front. So that was it. I just like to go fast, and that would, that was my first memory, is just being a kid driving at a really young age, and then family members would come and say, "Is that kid really driving?" And I thought I was an adult, because I was like, "Yeah, I can drive. Why can't I?"
Yeah.
And so it'd be kind of a spin-off between driving and then when we would go, just a public go-kart track.
Like the Family Fun Center things.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was always good at it. So no matter what I did or what I got into, I could figure out a way, even though I might suck at first, like on this track I'd never been on it, so the first 5 to 10 laps I was really like just driving through Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where am I going? Where's it going? And everybody was running over me. After about the 5th lap I was on it.
Very nice.
Enough not to get run over. He passed me still, but I'm...
So my second question is your first memory of your first race.
First memory of my first race.
Yeah. What was going on in your memory of your first race? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can tell you that. Yeah, of
First
course.
official race.
First race.
Oh, first
Could have been like
race.
stoplight race. Like the first memory you had, like I'm racing something right now.
This high school with Lance.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Yeah, high school. Just coming home. This big highway. I didn't go to like the closest high school, so
Had
we had-
little bit of commute.
had a bit of commute. And the highways here in Georgia are kind of nice and straight, maybe hilly, but we'd go from one light to another, just driving our little crappy what was it, a Corolla, and
So banging through like 4 gears and getting to like 40 miles an hour and be like, sweet,
oh yeah,
I won.
oh yeah,
To the next red light.
to the next red light. Yep.
Got him.
Sounds pretty typical for a gearhead type person. All right, Spiro.
Are you waiting on me now? Do you want the short version or the long version?
I mean, we're still on the turn, so.
Okay. So, kind of like him, whether it was, I guess the first race I did was a go-kart track, and I want to say it was in Myrtle Beach. At the Myrtle Beach, does anybody remember the Myrtle Beach Grand Prix? Well, y'all from.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This was like a track, like not maybe as fast as that one, but it was quicker than like a Frankie's Fun Park. So that's where we went. So.
Do they have like Grand Virage carts with like shocks and air tires? Yeah.
That like
Look,
mini
kind of like
Indy
Indy cars, yeah.
So
So-
you couldn't get on those till you were 16 though. So at that time I was probably 8.
Driver's license, you can drive them.
Exactly.
I did one of those when I was 14 because I had a driver's license. They're like, you need to be 18 or have a driver's license. You can't drive. And I'm like, here's my driver's license from Idaho. And I pointed the sign that says or.
Right.
An 18 or driver's license.
Right. Well, 15 was here, so when I was 15 I drove them. But before that you had to drive the little
Yeah.
whatever. My first experience was just getting out there, and like I said, it wasn't like I was the first time I drove it. It was so much adrenaline. I guess that's the biggest thing. It's just like today. I mean, I'm sure when he gets in the car, there's a little bit of adrenaline that just kind of, kind of gets you. Eric, you race.
I do.
There's an adrenaline to it. Even when first time I raced a dirt track car, it was adrenaline. You're like, no practice, never been in one, but I'm gonna go.
Yes.
First time I drove Jeremy's car, CMP, 5 years ago. Never
I'm gonna
been
go.
on asphalt. Right. He said, go, you'll figure it out.
Sure enough,
Felt like
you figured it out.
I felt like I was 8 years old again. I was like, oh, go.
Yeah.
So I know that really wasn't my first experience, but it was the first experience for,
Yeah.
I guess, each one.
Yeah. So the last question I usually ask pertains to your first lucky dog race. What was going on in your mind in the memories of your first lucky dog race?
So the first lucky dog race. You want to start that one?
All right, yeah.
I mean, we've had people on my track walks where they're like, yeah, I don't remember. So
I was trying to
information
think, I
overload.
was trying to think, was it Charlotte Roval or was it CMP? Because if it was Charlotte Roval, I remember it very well and I loved it. It was awesome. I just like Charlotte Roval. And I wish I would go back, but I understand.
For me, I think so. It was CMP. I think it was last year. Yeah. It was really intimidating for me.